Hello, today we are starting the series on commercial communication and secretarial practice for the Gujarat State Board syllabus. We will begin with commercial correspondence for standard 11th and then move on to CC for standard 12th. Our subject is divided into two parts. First part is CC and second part is secretarial practice. CC consists of 8 chapters beginning with meaning of communication and its methods, appearance of business letter, and then various chapters on different types of letters. Let's begin with our first chapter, that is meaning of communication and its methods. What is communication? Man is a social animal. That is, man creates a society for himself by interacting with each other. In case of social animals, not having an interaction can have a negative impact on their development. Thus, for man, communication is not just a choice, but it is a necessity. The word communication has been derived from the Latin word communicare, which means to share, to participate, and to exchange. Here, I have shared a definition of communication. This is not given in the Gujarat Board textbook, but you can use it for better presentation. Communication is act of conveying, sharing, exchanging meaning from one entity to another through the use of mutually understood sign, symbol, and symbiotic rules. This definition can be understood by dividing it into 3 parts. What is the action required? Who are the participants and how does the activity take place? What is the action required? It is the act of conveying, sharing, and exchanging meanings. Who are the participants? One entity and another. Here we have used the word entity because it is a more inclusive word. Communication may take place between a natural person, government, business, etc. So a more inclusive word of entity is appropriate here. Now, how does the action take place? The action takes place through the use of mutually understood sign, symbol, and symbiotic rules. Predominantly, communication is carried out either for private or commercial purpose. Any communication for private purpose is called personal or routine communication, and communication for commercial purpose is called a commercial communication or commercial correspondence. Commercial communication is used for various purposes like interdepartmental communication, buyer to seller, and seller to buyer. For example, in an organization we have various departments. If the marketing department has decided to launch a new promotion of buy one get one free, accordingly the production team needs to be informed about increasing the production and change in packaging. The purchasing team will have to buy more raw materials and the sales team will be asked to inform the customers. Thus, to conduct any process smoothly and in a coordinated manner, a proper communication channel should be available within the organization. Similarly, seller will communicate with buyer through advertisement and promotion for sale of his products, and buyer will communicate with the seller to avail various benefit and after sale services or redressal of complaints. Let's move on to the process of communication. There are 7 elements to process of communication. The process begins with the sender who has an idea or a message and intends to send the message to the listener. Message is encoded using language, sound, and other tools. Message will be formed. Message will be transmitted through any channel or medium. Message will be decoded through the use of same tools which are used for coding. Decoding will be done by the listener. Feedback will be sent by the listener to the sender. Here you have to keep 2 important matters in mind. First, message will be formed keeping in mind the listener. Thus, whatever language, sign or symbol is understood by the listener, only those language, signs and symbols have to be included in the message. Secondly, feedback has a very important role to play in knowing if the listener has understood the message or not. If message is fully understood by the listener, then the process of communication is considered successful, and if the message is fully or partially misunderstood by the listener, then the process is considered a failure. Now let's go through each of these stages once again. First, sender. Sender is the one who initiates the message. In the next part, we will learn about the different methods of communication. In that, we will learn about oral communication and written communication. Initiator of the message in oral communication is called the speaker, and in written communication or visual communication, initiator of the message is called the sender. Similarly, the person receiving the oral or audio message is called the listener, and the person receiving the written message or visual message is called the receiver. Here I will be using only one of these names. I will use either sender or listener or speaker or receiver for convenience. But in your exam, try to use all these three names at least in the heading. The sender has an idea or a message which he wants to transmit to the listener, and for this he will initiate the message. Next, encoding. Encoding is the process undertaken by the speaker. The speaker will arrange the concept or idea by using appropriate language, diction or sound. Message. Message is formed by the speaker by employing various tools, means and medium. Channels or mediums are the devices or tools which are used to transmit information. Word, script, symbol, pictures are known as channels, whereas presentation through oral written forms, expression or action are called medium. Decoding is the process of understanding the coded information. For decoding, the receiver will use the same tools or mediums which the sender has used to encode the message. Listener or receiver is the person who receives the information sent by the speaker. Process of communication is undertaken keeping in mind the receiver or the listener. Feedback is the process of communication in which the receiver sends a response to the sender. Feedback from the receiver determines the success of the process of communication. Now let's see the different methods of communication. There are 6 methods of communication: oral, written, visual, audio, audiovisual and silence. Oral communication is undertaken by way of speaking. The tool used here are languages and words, for example, lectures and group discussion. Written communication is undertaken by writing. The tool used here are script, language and words. Here the style of writing and selection of words are very important. Example are email, periodicals and advertisements. Visual communication takes place in the form of reading or looking at signs, symbols, pictures, maps, etc. Here words may or may not be used. In audio communication, language, word and different sounds are used. The speaker and the listener are not face to face. The examples are radio, telephone, CDs, etc. In audio-visual communication, the activities of watching and listening takes place simultaneously. For example, pictures, television, etc. Here, help of various devices and appliances are taken. Silence. Silence means the absence of spoken or written words. It may convey consent, disagreement or empathy depending on the situation. Now let's move on to the advantages and disadvantages of all these methods of communication. Oral communication. It is simple and commonly understood. Language is the first thing which is taught to the babies. So understanding of spoken language do not need any special training. People who do not have a formal education can also understand oral communication. Thus, it is very simple and it is understood by most of the people. Second, listener and speaker need to be face to face. With respect to cost, because the listener and speaker need to be face to face in the oral communication, thus there is no need for any additional tools and thus the cost is reduced. As the listener is available in the same place, the sender can get instant feedback. Such feedback can be in the form of words or in the form of body language. It saves time as both the listener and speaker can communicate instantly and also receive feedback instantly. The disadvantages of oral communication are that on account of being at the same place, the sender does not get sufficient time to encode his message and the listener does not get sufficient time to decode the message. This sometimes leads to bad choice of words or wrong interpretation of message and may lead into confusion, and in worst case scenarios can lead in debate. Debate will increase misunderstanding and energy and time both will be wasted. Spoken word does not have any proof. I may say something today and tomorrow I may turn back on my word. On account of lack of proof, the sender cannot be held accountable. So the reliability of spoken word is very less. Take for example a representative of a mutual fund. He has come to you to sell some schemes. He may promise lucrative returns during an oral discussion, but the same representative will never write down his promises because he knows that spoken word can be manipulated and also forgotten with the passage of time, but written word stays on record forever. Written communication. Advantages are that there is no restriction in time and place. You do not have to be face to face. Sender can encode the message and the receiver can decode the message at different times based on their convenience. Second, it is very economical, not free. However, in disadvantages, you will find that it is costly. Written communication is cheaper than audio, visual and other types of communication because the tools required here, example pen and paper, are cheaper and thus it is more economical. However, as compared to oral communication, which is free, written communication does have some cost. For example, for drafting of an email, you will need a phone or computer, which may be costly. Similarly, books and periodicals require special tool for printing, which will cost money. So it is economical, but it is not free. So it is included in both the advantages and the disadvantages. Information can be arranged. Written communication is available in hard copy. Even in case of email, you can take a printout. These hard copies can be arranged and stored chronologically or based on their importance or any other method. These stored information can then be referred in future also whenever need arises. It is more reliable because it serves as proof of transaction. It is admissible in court of law also. I gave you the example of mutual fund representative who will say orally but never write down promises of guaranteed return, because written correspondence will be used as proof of false promises in the future in case of loss. It helps to create identity of the firm. Billboards, printed advertisement, etc. are example of written communication. These methods give information about the quality of product and also about various promotions and products. For example, banks usually put up huge billboards whenever there is a reduction of interest rate or a new scheme of loan. Now say a person has not availed any loan and she sees an advertisement of new and better schemes of Messrs ABC Bank more often, then she will create a perception in her mind that Messrs ABC Bank is providing better services. So maybe the next time she wants to avail a loan, she will inquire with ABC Bank. So that is how the image of the firm is built in the minds of the people. Sender has sufficient time to compose the message because it is not spontaneous. You can read the message after typing, you can delete whatever you don't like and redraft it. So in disadvantages, the first point is that it may add cost, which is already discussed along with advantages. Second, it is time intensive. See, it is human nature to second guess. So you will always want to reread and redraft the message. And this in turn will consume more time than what is actually required. As sender and receiver are not face to face, the feedback will be delayed. Suppose the sender sends the message at say morning 10 o'clock. The receiver will read at his own convenience at say 5 in the evening. Now because the receiver has read the message after a delay, the sending of the feedback will also be delayed. It relies very heavily on command of language. If you are not fluent in the language of communication, it will lead to wrong spelling and use of improper language. Wrong spelling and wrong grammar will create a bad image of the firm. Also, lack of expression may lead to use of impolite and improper words, which may create further issues which can affect the business relationships. Here, literacy is required. Some basic level of formal education is required to draft proper written communication. Visual communication advantages. A good visual can help better understanding and has a more powerful impact on the brain. For example, if you see a shoe with a tick mark in a distinctive style, you will understand the brand name even though it is not written, because your brain will be able to grasp symbols or pictures better and remember them for a longer period of time. Disadvantages is that the designing determines success or failure. Creation of visual communication costs a lot of money, and if the designing is not good, if it is indecent or inappropriate, then it may create a lot of backlash. For example, whitening cream usually releases advertisement with captions like achieve your dreams or be more liked, etc. So now, as you know, they are facing a lot of backlash for implying wrong messages. Likewise, deodorant brand also show improper or misleading photos, so they also have received a bad image among customers for being too indecent and misleading. Second is that you need some basic knowledge to understand visual communication. Now what are these signs telling you? First one is indicating traffic signal, second checkpoint. Now see the third line, fifth symbol is a circle with number 40. What does it mean? It means speed limit is 40. Now if you see a circle with figure 40 on the road, will you understand its meaning? Will a child be able to understand its meaning? No. You can understand these symbols only when you have studied it. You may have studied it either during taking your driving lessons or you may have studied it in your books. So you need some basic knowledge to understand the visuals. Audio communication. The tools required for audio communication are usually mobile phones to call or record voice notes, and these are very easily available. Just like oral communication, you can interact with multiple people. In live calling, you can use conference calls or you can record voice note and send to multiple people. Unlike oral communication, speaker and listener need not be at the same place, so there is no restriction of place. Disadvantage is that the quality and type of mic set and speaker available with various people are different, and thus you cannot ensure audio quality. Also, network issues also affect the quality of audio, and thus it is very difficult to maintain. This is not effective in cases where you have to ensure that everyone in the audience has understood the message. That is because you cannot ensure that everyone is paying attention to the message. Audio-visual communication. The participants engage in both hearing and seeing, and so such communication grasps attention of the receiver for a longer period. If receiver is not able to understand the visual, then the audio will help him and vice versa. So it becomes easier to understand. It creates a better impact on our brain, so it helps to remember for long time. It reduces mistake as both the audio and video can be cross-referenced. If the audio says something wrong, the receiver can verify the visual and trace the mistake. It is unlikely that the same mistake will be done at two places, so here mistakes are minimized. Here the disadvantage is that some people may find both the activities of watching and listening as too overwhelming and thus lose focus altogether. Here you have to design both audio and visual communications and coordinate both of them properly. So it requires a good design and also takes double the efforts. Usually participants tries to read the matter given in the PPT even when the audio has not completed the slide. For example, some students may have already read the entire slide when I was explaining the first point. It happens even with me, it's a very common issue. In such cases, the participants concentrate so much on the visual that they miss any additional information which is given in the audio. Silence. When there is silence in the surrounding, the listener will be able to hear everything clearly and also concentrate more because there is no other distraction. This helps both the speaker and the listener as the flow of communication is very smooth without any disturbance. The disadvantages of silence is that it can be interpreted in any way. Prolonged silence on the part of the speaker may create confusion in the message, and prolonged silence on the part of the receiver may lead to lack of feedback. Secondly, in case of a fight or a debate, silence is usually seen as a sign of weakness. Usually we interpret that the silent party is either very guilty or he is very weak. So with this we conclude our first chapter of meaning of communication and its method. And in the next video, we will start with effective letter writing and its various styles. This is my first video and I hope to receive feedback from you. Otherwise, this entire process of communication will not yield the desired result. If you liked the video, please press the like button, and if you have any suggestions for improvement, please give your feedback so that I can incorporate them in the upcoming videos. Thank you.